Okay, mathematicians, today you are going to want to make sure you have your math notebook, the sheet that you picked up in class, and 4 highlighters, 4 different colors. Hopefully you have those around your house somewhere. The first thing we need to do is go to our table of contents, and we are going to add Algebra Vocabulary. And that should be page 61 for me. Your table of contents might be off. Just put it on the next page that you have available. Once you have that written, go ahead to your next available page. And we are going to place the algebra notes, ... not a lot, no toaster strudels. So make sure you have little dots. It does not take a lot. And then smooth it down carefully. Today I just want to highlight some important vocabulary when talking about algebra. So first of all, let's pick any color you would like. And we have what algebra is. Elementary algebra is an area of mathematics where numbers and quantities, called variables, are represented by letters and symbols. The main difference when it comes to algebra is the use of variables, which are usually letters, and they are used in expressions and equations. An equation is a mathematical statement containing an equal sign. We have equation with that, and coincidentally it also means equals. One number is represented by an unknown variable. To solve an equation, the value of this variable must be found, and we will start learning how to solve these equations later on in our unit. So let's look at the parts of an equation, an algebraic equation. You should already know what an exponent is, so we are not going to highlight that today, but just a reminder, the exponent is the little number above a number or letter. We have what is called a coefficient, so let's go ahead and keep our yellow marker here. And 5 and 2 are coefficients. And if we go down here in our page, you can see the definition of a coefficient, which is a number which multiplies a variable, such as 5x. This means 5 times x. When a number is right next to a letter without any operation in the middle, we call that juxtaposition. One of my favorite vocabulary words, juxtaposition. It just simply means side by side. And when they're side by side like that, we just infer that they want us to multiply, because it gets messy with the multiplication sign and things of that nature. So they just, we're lazy, put them next to each other. We know that it means multiply. Pick up another color now. And we're going to look at the variables. Variables, in this example, are x. You can have lots of variables in an equation. You can have only one variable in an equation. We will see lots of different uses of variables. And again, let's highlight just to match it up down here, the definition. A variable is a varying quantity represented by a letter or symbol. For example, x. Like we talked about in class with our formulas, we set up formulas with variables because it can change depending on each situation you're in. If you're finding the area of a rectangle, every rectangle's length and width can be different. So we just use L and W to show that it's a varying quantity. It can change with each rectangle. Next, pick up a different color, and we're going to talk about the constants. The constants are just a fancy algebraic word for a number that stays constant. It doesn't change. 8 has to be 8. 16 will always be 16. So it's unlike the variable that varies or changed. The constants are a fixed quantity that does not vary. They are opposites. So an example of that would be a number. As well, we need to talk about the terms, and that'll come in handy when we are combining like terms or when we are trying to simplify the terms. Again, that'll come later in our unit, but just so you are aware, the terms, 5x is a term, 2x is a term, and this 8 is a term. Down at the bottom, we have our definition of a term, which is one part of an expression, which may be a number, it might be a variable, or a product of both. For example, the 5x squared, 4xy, and the 12. So these are just a handy resource just to remind you what a variable is. If you hear somebody say something about a coefficient or combining the terms, you have examples of what they are. Don't forget to complete your Lesson 3 word problems homework tonight as well. See you tomorrow.